Ready to gain the knowledge. I assure you, you're not going to walk out the same, right? Wonderful. So, it's with great pleasure that I introduce our second speaker. This young man, Ellis Liddell, is the president and CEO of ELE Wealth Management, LLC. It's a client-based asset management company with its corporate office in Southfield, Michigan. With over 30 years of experience in the financial arena, Ellis is a wealth manager, insurance expert, and retirement planning specialist. He is the author of the book, Wealth Management, Merging Faith with Finance. His financial advice and commentary has been featured in print, radio, and television in Detroit, Atlanta, and also the Dallas areas. He is a regular guest on News Talk 1200 radio, Inside Detroit with Mildred Gaddis, and served as a consultant for financial issues with WXYZ, that's Channel 7 Action News. He's been featured in the Who is Who Black Detroit multiple times and was selected by Our Magazine and D Business magazines as one of the top wealth managers of 2010. He's also received the Entrepreneur of the Year award from Alabama A&M University Alumni Association. He's conducted financial seminars, workshops all across the country to businesses and churches alike, including Comerica Bank, Ford Motor Corporation, and T.D. Jakes' The Potter's House, just to name a few. In 2007, Mr. Liddell became the first African American to be ranked the #1 financial advisor 2 years in a row. Mr. Liddell's brand of financial planning is uniquely rooted in sound financial and also biblical principles. He presents complex financial information in layman's terms, giving clients and seminar participants a wealth of knowledge and some humor and common sense. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, his motto, let me not forget his motto, is wealth is our legacy, therefore pass it on. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our next Agent of Hope seminar speaker, Mr. Ellis Liddell.
I'm going to lower this mic. She's a little taller than me. Beautiful and tall, too. Give her a hand. Good morning. Good morning. I could have been home sleeping in my bed with my pillow lying next to my head. But what would I have to show for this day? The good Lord gave, and I simply slept it away. I didn't come to be sobering or to mess up your natural high. But I did come to get your attention, so let me tell you why. What's the theme today? What's the theme of the conference today? All right, now that she read it for us, together. What's the theme today? Attaining your hopes and dreams. It says a lot in that because you have to first have a dream, right? You have to have hope. And if you don't have a dream and you don't have hope, what do you have? Which means you always accomplish your goals because you had none. And what I'm here today to talk about is success. Sometimes when I hear people reading my bio as she did, I sit back and go, who's that guy? And because he talked about migrating to America from a different country, having to learn to speak English. I grew up in Mississippi. Coming up north was like migrating to another country. And trust me, throughout college, when I went to college, one of the things that I did, if you saw the people who saw me at college, I can't call them friends, they just was associates, because I never developed friendships because I spent so much time trying to learn. I would hear kids talking and throwing words around and I had no idea what modus operandi meant. None. Method of operation. But once I heard somebody say it, didn't have Google back then, I'm 55, so we didn't have Google. So I had to go to the library and look up, as best as I can recall, modus operandi. It's Greek, it's Latin. It's hard to look that up, but I did it. And from that point on, I figured out how to use modus operandi in a sentence. So the next time I heard somebody say it, I would just breeze right through it. Anybody see the movie Django? Well, I spent most of my college experience asking what that is, like Jamie did in the movie, what that is. So it's the same challenge that we're all faced with. He's right. America is one of the greatest countries you can move to that you can make money in. There are people in America who never take advantage of those opportunities. Part of that is because they don't believe. So say it with me. Believe it?
Believe it.
Because you got to believe it first before you can do anything about it. You've got to believe it. You've got to believe that this is your place. After college, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And I remember driving down the street in my hoopty. Did I say my Rolls Royce? No. Nah, it wasn't a Rolls, it was a hoopty. It was actually a Vega. They don't even make them anymore, okay? They don't even make them anymore. So driving down the street, and this guy passed me in his Rolls Royce. It was a gold Rolls Royce, and he had his arm out the window, his glass was down, and he had this beautiful Rolex Diamond Series watch on. And I'm driving down, and I look over, and he makes eye contact with me for just a second. And it's Ted Turner. Anyone ever heard of Ted Turner? So that was my first encounter with Ted Turner. The second one, I'm walking up the street in Atlanta, and I'm right in front of the CNN Tower, and Ted Turner limo pulls up, and the guy gets out, he comes right, he opens the door, and Ted gets out, and he looks me in the eye again. And, you know, and he speaks, because Ted is a nice guy. He speaks. How you doing? I said, fine. How you doing? You know, fine. And he goes on into the CNN Tower, and I keep walking through life. But that encounter was just enough for me to say the second time, that if Ted Turner can have millions of dollars, why can't I? And if you never ask that question, guess what? You're never going to get an answer. Because the answer's in the question. So repeat after me. If you don't ASK,
If you don't ASK,
and because some of y'all were slow, if you don't ASK,
if you don't ASK,
you don't GET.
you don't GET.
All right? So if you don't ask, you don't get. So you sometimes have to challenge yourself, because I've seen the enemy and it is I. The biggest enemy is not your friends. The biggest enemy to success is yourself. The challenge with all of this is simple. The first one was believe, right? The second one, you have to set goals. If you don't have any goals, remember what I said, then you achieve every single one of them. But you have to set goals first in order to have a chance of having success. Setting goals is not something extreme. You don't have to go out and buy a huge book. You don't have to go out and buy a goal-setting manual. Setting goals starts with recognizing who you are, what you are, and what your contribution is going to be to life. You see, we get time on, everybody has a birthday, but we also have a Earth Day. The day you became a part of the earth. What are you going to do during the time you're going to get on the earth? Because everybody only gets so much time. And when that time is gone, the opportunity also is gone. So you have to start out by setting a goal. That first goal might be who you are. In other words, are you the person you want to be? When you look in the mirror, do you see the person that you want to be? Or is the success looking back at you? Because if the success that you want to be is not looking back at you, you can do something about that person. You can work on seeing the person. Now, by the way, the person you see reflected is all you got. You're not going to be Steve Harvey. You're not going to be Ellis Liddell. You're going to be you. So that's what you got to work with. So the clay that you work with is a clay that's looking at you in the mirror, but you can shape that clay. People all the time say that anybody can be successful. Success has to be defined. Shaquille O'Neal could not be an Olympic gymnastics person. It was not going to work. His DNA said he could not be that person. He was not going to make the Olympic team as a gymnast. But he could make it as a basketball player. And Kobe. And Michael Jordan. So they could make it, but they had to first accept the body that they came with. Because the biggest challenge that people have is they don't like themselves. And if you don't like you, he ended his speech by saying, you have to do what? You have to sell, sell, sell. Well, the first person you got to sell to is you. Because if you can't convince you that an idea is going to work, it's not going to work. So the first sales job is to you. Now, is it easy in America to sell something? It gets very competitive. It's competitive. I'm going to tell you, it's very competitive. Everybody wants your money. And they use psychology to get it. One of the best courses you can take here at Wayne Community College is Psychology 101. Because it's the foundation for everything you're going to deal with. I'm going to tell you how powerful words are. I'm going to convince you to say something that does not make sense. But I'm telling you before I even do it that I'm going to trick you. And if I got enough gumption about me to tell you before I do it that I'm going to do it, I shouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to trick you. And I'm telling you I'm going to trick you, but here we go. Now, I want the smart ones among you not to get tricked. But I know what's going to happen. The smarter you are, the harder you're going to fall. So here we go. How do you spell spot, like a dirty place on your clothing? Spot. All right, that's, everybody knows how to spell it. So the trick is not in how to spell spot. So let's do it together as a group. Spot. Everybody.
S-C-O-T.
One last time in your cheerleader voices. Spot.
S-C-O-T.
And what do you do when you come to a green light?
Stop.
At a green light.
Stop.
At a green light. At a green light.
Whoa.
So everybody act trick. Everybody act trick. Those of you who got tricked, you owe me $1, okay? That's marketing 101, combined with psychology 101. If you want to trick people, you want to get people to do something, there's a couple ways to sell products. There are people out there who say, the minimum account size that I will take is $1 million. Therefore, somebody walks in with less than $1 million, they say, come back and you get $1 million.
Right.
You go, what? You turned me down? $900,000 and you turned me down? Yep. Come back when you get $1 million. You can play with the big boys then. That's psychology 101.
Yeah.
So there are guys out there who have a minimum account size. Now, at ELE, we didn't set a minimum account size. Why? Here's the psychology of getting wealthy. You make something for the small person. Because if small people love you, like you, enjoy you, they will tell their friends about you. But if a guy's a millionaire, he's not necessarily going to tell his millionaire friend about you because they feel like he should have his own guy or girl. So, you can get wealthy working with the average person. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a great handyman who does plumbing. Or you go out and get your license to be a plumber. If you had 1,000 households who paid you $100 to service their house once a year, just come out, make sure that the shower still works, it hadn't had that little acid, that little buildup in it, where the water starts coming out of some of the speakers, but not all of them.
Right.
Where the kitchen sink does the same thing, it just, it just drips, and you just get tired of the drip, but you get used to the drip because you don't pay nobody to fix it. If you had a plumber who had 1,000 accounts like that at $100 per person per year, how much will they generate? How much is it? Well, it has to be 1,000 times 1,000 to be $1 million.
Right.
But $100,000 recurring revenue to do what? Just send somebody out. Now, what happens if you hired 5 students who want to learn the plumbing business? You sent those 5 students out. You pay them $20,000 a year. That's all you generated already, right?
Yeah.
But you paid 5 people to do it. Now you have 5 people going out to look for work for you. Now, when a plumber comes out, you charge a minimum amount for a service call, and then you charge to repair stuff. And you're probably going to buy the tools needed at a discount at Home Depot.
Right.
You're going to probably charge retail to the client. So you turn $100,000 of recurring revenue into $1 million of recurring revenue. But if no one ever sits down and opens up your mind to think beyond working for yourself, you don't do it. Because I don't know a single person that made $1 million by themselves. Usually they have somebody who helped to make it possible. And that's what success is all about. Success is not lonely. Success is always toasting your success with someone because you have to have somebody to do it with. So that's success. So goal setting. What do you have to set goals? Just you. You don't need anything special to set goals. Next one. You must do your homework. You must do your homework. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. I repeat, the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. Everybody else got to go out and make it happen. So your homework is important. You have to know your competition. And more importantly, you have to know if somebody stops you on the street in the grocery store. If I'm walking through the grocery store and somebody sees me and they say, Mr. Liddell, I have a question about my mortgage. I need to be able to answer that question. Mr. Liddell, I want to send my kids to college. I need to be able to answer that question. So whatever it is that they come to me with, I need to be versed in that area. Well, how do you get versed in something? You got to read. And if you're not going to read, you need to watch the news or watch YouTube. You got to do something. But it's homework. You got to put your time in. He said it best. Doing what you love. What is it that you would do for absolutely no money? What is it you would do for free, but people are willing to pay you to do it? I give advice for free all day long. You stop me in the grocery store, I'll answer your question. I'm not saying, you know what, you need to schedule an appointment at my office. Here's my assistant's card. Please give her a call. Not happening. You ask me a question, I'm going to answer it at that time. So our office is over on 10 Mile. And people say, how do you make money if all your consultations are free? If I help you with one of your problems, are you going to take your money down the street to PNC?
No, I'm coming to you.
You're going to come to the guy who helped you out your situation, right? And that's what's been happening. In that 1,000 client idea, we have close to 2,000 clients. And once you get over 1,000 clients, it's impossible not to make $1 million a year. At 1,000 clients, it's almost impossible to do it. So just know that. Now, is it tough having a really good, close, intimate relationship with 1,000 people?
Yes.
No, most of you already know 1,000 people. You just don't realize you know them. You speak to them, you wave at them, you pass them up. But just think if you were the referral source, if you were known as a person who knows where to go in the community. If you had 1,000 people calling you, asking you, where should I go get this done? Do you know a good mechanic? Do you know a good this? I just described Angie's List to you.
Right.
That's how Angie's List got started. And Angie's List is not just in Detroit. Angie's List is all over the United States, and she's determined to go around the world. I don't blame her. Anybody ever heard of 5 Hour Energy?
Yes.
Do you know where it was founded at? Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Uh-oh.
Were the guys who came up with 5 Hour Energy rich already? Because they're rich now. And I shouldn't just say guys because it wasn't just guys. It was a group of individuals who needed a second source of income. And they sit around and they tried to figure out what could they come up with. And the biggest challenge with having meetings after work is what? Everybody's tired.
Right.
You left it at the office. 5 Hour Energy came from a group of people trying to meet after hours. And it's going to turn them into billionaires because 5 Hour Energy is circling the world. If Red Bull had not come out with 5 Hour Energy, it probably worked. No, because you've got to figure out, because either people are enhancing your life or they're tearing it apart. They either become part of the great theater of life that you look forward to, or they become the drama of your life. And that's what you've got to figure out. But you've got to do what you love, and people will pay you a lot of money when you finally figure that out. The other thing, you always are branding yourself. I would have loved to come out here today, kind of relax for my next meeting, which my next meeting is going to the movies. I haven't seen Lincoln, so I want to go see Lincoln. I won't wear this suit to the movies, right? So I could have worn my warm-up suit to the movie just with a hat and just chill. But I dress for the part. I'm a wealth manager. Somebody in here might have some money. They'll remember their warm-up suit. But today, they have to remember the suit and the blue tie. So, your brand, you have to continue to enhance your brand. It doesn't matter whether it's a suit, whether it's a vest, with a white collar. You know, the two speakers that just followed each other. He had a white collar with white cuffs. White collar with white cuffs. Something in common. He talked about the same thing I'm talking about. I showed him my notes because I didn't think he would believe that we had the same in sync ideas without ever talking on the phone. But we both came and talked about the same thing. So I showed him, I said, here are my notes. I'm going to talk about exactly what you talked about. Family. Family can be great, or family can be horrible. You know your family already. You know what you got. So you're either going to allow them to assist you to become great or to hold you back. Now, usually when you get a good idea, if you don't have a best friend, then your parents are your best friend. You run to your parents. But these are the same parents that saw you come up with 1,000 bad ideas. So are they going to be really excited about this one idea that can probably make a lot of money, but because you got this history, they're going to probably shoot it down as soon as you open your mouth, before you even get all your syllables out. Nope, nope, nope. So family can be great, but in business, sometimes you have to create your own family. You have to create other people who will have like minds, who are trying to achieve something extraordinary. In order to do that, you've got to surround yourself. I remember one time I came up with this wonderful idea, and even your best friend sometimes is not the great person to run to. I came up with this great idea, and I ran to the guy I respected the most. He'd made 4 Olympic teams, great friend, and it was called the Spill Stopper. I was driving one day, and my little 7-year-old wanted an orange soda, and I had my nice little car, so I handed him the soda, and I said, hey man, don't spill any, please. You shouldn't have to tell your kids not to do something, right? But here I am coaching him on not to spill this thing that he wanted the most, which was a nice orange soda. And it hit me, a spill stopper. If there was some way, everything used to be in a can before all these bottles came along. If there was some way you could come up with a device that you could just stick inside, you pop the top, you stick it in the can, and kids can suck their drink out of it like a straw without spilling it. But if they drop it, it won't spill. But then what about when they're not drinking the soda? Can it be a whistle? So you can blow on it, it can be a whistle. Or you can put a little bubble stuff in it and blow bubbles out of it. So I came up with this wonderful idea. I picked up the phone, I called my best friend of 20 years. I said, hey man, I got this idea. I told him what I just told you. He said, man, you can buy that at the grocery store already. I went to the grocery store, I couldn't find it on the shelf anywhere. But you guys are the only people that know anything about the spill stopper. I've never had the guts to tell anybody else. Because he shot the idea down. So you've got to make sure. So when I got ready to start my wealth management practice, guess who was not on my list to call? He was not on the list to call. I just started. I said, I'll tell him about it when we make our first $100,000. Then I'll say, hey man, I started this business. But other than that, no. So he didn't hear about it until 12 years ago. When we made the first $100,000, I called him up and said, hey man, I just hit 6 figures in my own business. He said, really, that's good. How much you pay your employees? See, shot me down again. I said, I had to get them about, 3/4 of it. I kept 25, I spent the rest of it out. I said, but hey man, I generated $100,000 with my own brain from my own idea. And he said, when you make $100,000 for yourself, call me back. And this is a good friend. But I'm just trying to paint the picture about family, okay? And I think y'all got it. So I didn't tell him when we did our first $1 million, because I didn't need him to tell me that negative.
Right.
In closing, I just want to say this. If you stop dreaming, you die. If you stop dreaming, you die. And you've got to make sure that you never stop dreaming. You can't give up hope. You can't stop feeling like you can achieve whatever it is that you want. What did he say about Winston Churchill? Never give up.
Never give up. Never surrender.
If you believe in yourself and you believe in what you do, you never give up.
Love what you do.
All right. So never give up, and you're never. What is it? When you believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and never give up. Right? So then there's nobody that can ever defeat you.
Stop you.
Okay. So that no one can ever stop you.
Stop you.
Got it. Do y'all mind if I take a picture of you guys? I just got my little iPad.
Right.
$5. Well, y'all owe me $4. I mean, you owe me $1. So
Oh yeah, deductible.
Yeah,
Deductible.
And then what I'll do is before. What was the last thing I told you guys? Never give up on your dream. If you stop dreaming, you die. If you would, everybody was given a packet. In the packet is a little more information about myself, about my team, my staff, but there's also a blue sheet in that packet. If you'd like a free consultation, come to the office to talk about your dream, fill it out. If you don't have a chance to fill out today, call the number. The consultations are still free. Part of the reason why I like to meet with people and talk about your dreams is simple. I am a dreamer myself. I've never stopped dreaming. I still dream of someday making $20 million in 1 year.
It's gonna happen.
And if you don't stop believing, stop dreaming, it can happen. But if you stop, it'll never happen. So the power to succeed lies in whose hands? I'm going to repeat that. The power to succeed lies in whose hands? The power to succeed lies in your hand. So remember how I started this morning. I started by saying I could have been home sleeping in my bed with my pillow lying next to my head. But what would I have to show for this day? The good Lord gave and I slept it away. I didn't come to be sobering or to mess up your natural high. But I hope I helped somebody, and I've already told you why. Thank you, guys.